Well, ahead of the King's coronation, outside Buckingham Palace, the atmosphere's building up, the crowds are building up. There's a real positive atmosphere here. Just walking in, so many people are excited, and the people who've been sleeping out here for several nights to catch a glimpse of golden carriages and all the pomp and circumstance of a coronation. But unfortunately, some agitators, only 12 of them, from the Commonwealth nations, have written to the King demanding an apology for genocide and colonisation. Now, it is worth remembering that the King bears no responsibility for the British Empire in any realistic sense. Not only was he not alive for the bulk of the British Empire, certainly not for its expansion, but it's an even longer time ago that the British monarchs had any executive control and were directing how the empire operated. But we should be proud of our empire for what it gave the world, for what it still gives to the world, not in ruling places, but in what we have left behind, in terms of the rule of law, in terms of constitutions based on democracy, on the rights of property. If you look at the current race between India and China, which is going to be the greatest nation, I'm confident that India will win. And why is that? It's because India has democracy and the rule of law. Things that were left by the British were brought in by the British when we were there and then stayed when we left and have been grown and improved by India once we left. But we did more than that. We brought in proper justice so that Sleeman got rid of thuggee. Thuggee in India was a practice where travellers were murdered, and it went on. It was a widespread practice, wiped out by the British when we were there. Why? Because actually we were a law-abiding society, and we have taken the common law around the world. If you look at the United States, of course, another common law country with free markets and free enterprise, where does that come from? Where does the US Constitution come from? It comes out of the British Constitution. It was a conscious effort to perfect the British Constitution. Even the contentious right to bear arms is drawn directly from the British Bill of Rights, or strictly the English Bill of Rights, slightly different from the Scottish one. The English Bill of Rights maintains the right to bear arms for the maintenance of a Protestant militia. And when the Americans were writing their constitution, they took that too. We even brought railways across the world, but again, particularly in India. And the empire was the greatest force for ending slavery, something that is much forgotten. No other empire in the whole of history ever tried to get rid of slavery. It was the British Empire that did it, the British Empire that succeeded in doing it, and that was an extremely novel thing to do. The whole of history before that had accepted slavery as something that would take place. And if you look at what was going on in the Ottoman Empire, in the same point as we were abolishing slavery, slavery was flourishing. Why, as we were talking about last week, was Gordon in Khartoum? Gordon was in Khartoum to stop slavery, and this was the British Empire. I think it's something we should be proud of, the King should be proud of, and we certainly shouldn't apologise for our great, our noble, our illustrious history. But of course, I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. mailmog@gbnews.uk.